Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of Horror Hands, and I'm coming back at you after the 24-hour horror movie marathon. I'm happy to say it was a success. Thank you everyone that supported that. I'm rested and recovered, and I just thought I'd get back into the swing of things with a little nifty review of Alien Romulus. I watched this the other night with my dad, and I think this will be getting a Blu-ray and 4K release anytime now, so I'll share my thoughts as this one becomes available. I'm describing this as a mixed bag of alien terror. Let's find out why. So Alien Romulus follows this group of teenage colonial workers who, in an attempt to escape the mundaneness of colonial life and work, devise a plan to hijack a nearby floating spaceship which is all derelict and unmanned, in an attempt to take themselves off and find pastures more fruitful. They do manage to get on board this spaceship, but unfortunately for them, it is harbouring some xenomorph terror, and we get the usual kind of alien ecosystem of eggs, facehugger, alien, and the teenagers have to do battle and try and survive, fighting off the facehuggers and the aliens that emerge from the shadows of this ship. So straight away, the thing that I really love about Alien Romulus is the look and feel and general cinematography of this movie. It absolutely looks and feels like an alien movie and manages to effectively capture the essence of just about every alien movie at different points in the film. So early on, when we follow the colonial workers, I got really strong like Alien 3 vibes because it's set in this kind of dark and gritty industrial environment. Later on, when they got on the ship, it very much goes into alien territory, and then we get a lot of aliens towards the end and sort of nods and things to the other movies as we go through the film. But the ambience and the aesthetics, sort of the cocoon laden walls, all that kind of thing, put me straight back into alien territory. And to give them credit, they absolutely nailed that look and made it feel like it was a film that definitely belonged in this franchise. The aliens and the facehuggers in this were pretty cool. They're in it for quite a bit of time. The xenomorphs and things are kind of reduced to the shadows a lot, but that's okay because that's kind of how they work. But when we see them, they look good. There's a lot of CGI in this movie, which I was disappointed with. I would really have liked them to have shown some practical effects in this one, and particularly the facehuggers are very CGI'd. Having said that, we got to see a few things I'd not seen before. We got to see sort of like 30 facehuggers scrambling their way to the actors and the camera. I can't deny that provided an effective level of nightmare fuel, seeing that unfold on screen. And the rest of the CGI didn't take me out of it too much. Like I say, the alien creatures look great. The xenomorphs are great. It's always going to be good to see them on the screen. I liked where the characters had to maneuver their way through the clouds of acid blood. That was new. I'd not seen that before. So again, credit to the filmmakers for thinking that up. And there was a good degree of tension that's very akin to this franchise, and that was done effectively. And I think they clearly done their homework on how to build tension using this unseen alien threat in the shadows, and some of that was quite reminiscent of Alien, so I appreciated that. I'd say the big downside for me when it comes to Alien Romulus is the characters. Now, throughout the Alien franchise, I've always enjoyed a peppering of really effective, memorable characters throughout the whole film. Whether it's the famous protagonist of Ripley, the working man representation of Brett and Palmer, the bravura of Hudson, even the grimy anti-hero of Ron Perlman in Alien Resurrection. Throughout the whole franchise, there's always been memorable characters that you can look to with these movies. For Alien Romulus, I gotta say the characters were weak. Not a single one of them were memorable. I couldn't tell you anything about any of the characters. I've already kind of forgotten them after watching the film. And I'm not going to blame it entirely on the fact that they're all young teenagers. I don't think that necessarily 100% affects that. But yeah, they were just poor characters, poorly written. Nothing to make me identify with them or kind of root for them, which is unusual because I do tend to like all the characters that are in the Alien movies, even like Alien 3, which is in the prison, had some very likable characters. The characters in Alien Romulus were very, very weak and not memorable at all. I was also not too keen on how they portrayed the android character in this movie, the main one that accompanied the group of teenagers onto the ship. I felt they kind of beat you over the head with kind of android politics in this one. Everything he said was kind of like, I'm doing this because I'm an android. I'm doing that because I'm an android. Because I'm an android, this is going to happen. And yeah, it would. I prefer it when it's a lot more subtle. Like in the other movies, you kind of don't really know they're an android until you know they're an android. I said android way too much there. But yeah, that was a bit too kind of surface level and wasn't nuanced enough for my liking. And then the inclusion of the Ash character in this, who for some reason they give him a different name. That was kind of cool. I was sort of wrestling with thinking that was a good inclusion and a good nod back to the original film, but then just kind of thinking that was a cynical, surface level sort of cash grab fan service inclusion. I'm not too sure how I feel on the Ash android being in this movie. And then the only thing which I really, really didn't like, this didn't work for me at all. Minor spoiler alert, but I don't think it really matters. In fact, I would have liked to have known this going in, I think. But I really thought the movie was going to give us a big Alien Queen style monster reveal towards the end, when in fact what we get is this really poor looking humanoid alien. In fact, it's way more human than alien. It's clearly a nod to the Prometheus creature, but for me it was lame as, and didn't really fit the plot. Felt like a very lazy inclusion into the film. Felt as if they didn't have the time or the notion to give us anything better than that, and throw in this really terrible looking CGI humanoid creature. And yeah, I did not like that at all. That kind of switched me off to the movie at that point, and yeah, really hurt this one for me. And I was surprised because I thought they would have taken something from the backlash of the newborn creature from Alien Resurrection, who I've yet to hear from anyone who actually likes that creature. But compared to that, the newborn looks really good. Yeah, that was a really poor inclusion. This movie was crying out for a big alien queen or some kind of creature reveal at the end, and we just got the opposite, this really bad looking CGI human thing. I did not like that at all. So overall, there were definitely some elements of Alien Romulus that I liked. They did some things that were very effective and really cool within the film. Then there were some things that just didn't work for me, or frustratingly they didn't do or did do, but it created a negative effect. But I did enjoy the movie. I will of course be buying it when it comes out. It kind of felt to me like what it would be like to go to a Halloween haunted house attraction that was based on the Alien franchise. You'd walk through all these different passages that looked like shots from Alien and Aliens, and you had these xenomorph creatures in the shadows jumping out at you, and you could enjoy the ambience and the feel of an Alien film. But it was just sort of kind of surface level scare attraction. That's what Alien Romulus feels like. It wasn't really a fully immersive, memorable, terrifying alien movie. Although, like I say, it did do some things pretty well. I just about enjoyed it enough to say it's a worthwhile addition to the franchise, but certainly not as good as it could have been. But let me know what you guys think of Alien Romulus. Did you really like this one? Did you hate this one? I'd love to know what people think. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.